I want to come to Genesis 12:1 this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about giving is easy when you trust God. And Abraham, we've talked the last couple of weeks, was unselfish, and he was a big giver. His secret was in his trust in God's integrity and God's power. So let's read here Genesis 1 and 2 of chapter 12. Now the Lord had said to Abram, Get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto the land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So this was the call and the promise that he gave to Abram. And as children of God, we could say we've been called out of a bad land too, into a good land. And many times we've had to leave family to make that call, and family has left us. But we're all walking this path in a way, no matter how many years have transpired since then. And so when Abram came out of this land, he came into a good land, but he brought his nephew with him, Lot. And so Lot grew with his family. He was his nephew. And Abram grew with his family. But Lot was not called out. Lot wasn't called out. Just Abram. But Abram brought a lot with him. And sometimes when we come out of the world, we bring a lot with us. If you can't get my little pun there, right? We bring a lot with us that we should have left behind. So there became some strife going on here. And in chapter 13, verse 8, Abram said to Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen. For we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Separate yourself, I pray thee, from me, and if you will take to the left hand, I'll go to the right. And if you will depart to the right hand, I will go to the left. So Lot lifted up his eyes, and he beheld the plain of Jordan, and it was a well-watered plain, river running through it, and that was the same plain before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And it was even like the garden of God in the land of Egypt where he came out of. And so Lot chose to him the plain of Jordan. And Lot journeyed east, and he separated himself from Abram. In verse 14, it says, And the Lord said to Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, Now lift up your eyes and look from the place where you are northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land that you see, to you I will give it, and to your seed forever. And I will make your seed as the dust of the earth, so that if man can number the dust of the earth, then your seed shall be also numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto you. Now, we can see here that Abram had a promise, didn't he? And when Abram and Lot separated, because God had blessed them both, he blessed Lot because he was with Abram, but Lot was holding Abram back. So Abraham gave then the choice of the land. So it'd be like if you stood somewhere and you looked forever and there was nothing there, and you could have whatever part of that land you wanted. And Abram was not selfish, was he? In fact, he gave Lot the choice of what he wanted. He says, pick out whatever part of this land you want. If you go that way, I'll go this way. If you go this way, I'll go that way. That way we'll have plenty of room for our families and our herds. And he wasn't leaving mad. He was just separating from strife. And it's interesting that Abram had more faith in God's promise when God told him he would give him the land, and the promise of God and the unselfishness of Abraham seemed to work together for him, didn't it? Mm-hmm. So, believing God was not hard for Abram to be unselfish. He knew God had promised to bless him, and knowing the greatness of God, he also knew that it didn't matter if the land was good or bad, because the Jordan was the greenest spot in the whole area that they could even see. It was all beautiful. And so Lot went there. Well, that left Abram the dry land, right? The dry land, the hills, the mountains, the dryness, and the brown stuff, right? We know what the brown stuff is, right? And so it didn't matter, though. Abram believed God. It didn't matter to him. He didn't feel bad because Lot took the best land. Now I'm really ticked off, right? I should have just told him what he could have, right? But no, he didn't do that. He just believed God, and it was easy for him to be unselfish because he knew the God he believed in. And he knew that he fulfilled his promises. And he also knew that it only took a little rain to make all those hills green again. It only took a little bit of sunshine to make those rivers sparkle in those valleys. He knew that God knew what he was doing. So he believed him to fulfill his word. And like Abraham, we should rest in the fact that God has the power and integrity to fulfill his promises. We live under an everlasting covenant. An everlasting covenant. And it is a covenant that's ordered in all things. And it also is sure. It's not going away. It's sure. It's always going to be there for us. So we can give unselfishly. We can know that God's blessing is not dependent on what we have, little or great, but is based on the integrity and power of God. It's not all about you to bring it to pass. It's about God's supernatural power to do that. And so if we trust in him, we will find ourselves in a place where we never thought we would be as time goes on. Out of debt, maybe everything's taken care of, comfortable, not wanting anything, giving things to people just because we want to, and we're able to do it with no strain because we believe God. And when we give to the poor, God will give back to us. And if we give to God, God won't be a debtor to any man, will he? So we're just able to give to God. We serve a God that's trustworthy and that is faithful in all ways. So let's take and bring our tithes and our offerings this morning.